Yeah, and remember about playing guitar too loud on here. It jumbles
I'm not gonna play at all.
jumbles the sound. Hey, this is Johnny Bean, and we are live. 3/20/16, March 20th, 2016. It's 12:22 p.m. here in California. 3:22, I guess, where you guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
All East Coast guys, man. What's up with that?
We'll be talking about this soon, Johnny. Don't worry. We'll be heading to the West
You guys
Coast.
are all like next door to each other, right? Hey, cool. So we're live. I'm with Dave, Jimmy, and Rob, and
Hey guys.
you want to talk about some cool guitars. So hey, you guys introduce yourselves. How are
Dave
you?
Nesdall.
Yes.
Rob Johnson. Hello out there, Van Halen fans. Johnny, Dave, and Jimmy. Good to see you guys.
Jimmy Douglas from Florida.
Cool.
Yo. So hey, I'm gonna share some links really quickly. You guys go ahead and talk about whatever you want.
All right. Okay, I got a question. We all have a guitar in our hands, so I guess we can start the guitar conversation. I'm sure it's no surprise probably what we'll be talking about today. We have four incredibly hardcore Van Halen fans sitting here, and it's a pleasure to have Jimmy with us. I've known Jimmy myself for, geez, I don't know, probably at least 10 years through the links, and we've had many conversations over the years via phone and internet, things like that, and I've learned an incredible amount of information from this man. And it's, you know, when I was talking to Dave and Johnny the other day, I'm like, listen, let's set something up with him because he wants to do it. And everybody was just like, yes, because he's a mountain of knowledge. And some of the threads you've posted, Jimmy, on the VH links have been incredible resources to all of us. But it's a pleasure to have you here. I am holding a Wolfgang special EVH guitar in my hands with a few modifications. It's got a kill switch in it and a PV Wolfgang Floyd. It is an arch top guitar. Big brass block upgrade. Thank you, Adam Reaver, and some Perloy tuners. So I've done a few mods to this guitar, switched the toggle switch around so it's the Wolfgang accurate configuration, and dismantled the tone knob, and because it's useless anyways, as we all know. And so that's what I got. What do you got, Dave?
I got my 5150 guitar, which
You mean my
oh, yeah. I'll will it to you one day. Yeah, I'm loving this guitar. This is my favorite one of the bunch.
Nice.
And why wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy, what do you have?
I have a homemade on-chain guitar with a neck that Cal Finch made for me many years ago, and then
Nice.
the body was made by James Duffy. But I painted it probably in July of 2009, if I remember correctly. So
It's a
the only thing
great.
it doesn't have buy see you later on the back. That's going to be added soon. But I just at the time I chose not to do it because I couldn't figure out what it was, if it was actual paint or if it was a sticker. And now I believe it's actual paint. The way.
Yeah.
So if you carefully, and I think Dave has an excellent replica of the back.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it was white, and I think it was painted over with red, with
Yes.
acrylic, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It does have a little bit of a white border on it.
Yeah, and people had said, well, how do you know it's not stickers? Well, obviously because each letter was different. It was obviously handmade or hand cut. But until I figured it out, until I think Nick really figured it out, he's the guy who I would get full credit for how it was done and how it was applied. I think that's the most accurate version out there is yours, Dave.
Yeah, minus the 2-inch body, I think you're correct. And we also fixed the little tadpoles as well, if you will, if that's what you'd like to call them.
Yeah.
There's a couple of photos that I don't know if you have the two photos. I'll send them to you. But it clearly shows there's two photos of Eddie backstage, one with Mike Anthony and one by himself, and the photos are clear as day, and we were able to, with a Sharpie marker, make them thicker, which is they're supposed to be kind of thick.
Yep.
and it looks absolutely correct. And other than the body thickness, I think you're right. I think maybe I have the most accurate one.
Dave, can you send me those photos as well? I used to have those, and I no longer have them.
Yeah, I'll send them to both of you. Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to get that. You know, I had gone as far as to contact Niels Lozow to get better resolution pictures of the Unchained, but believe it or not, he wanted $400 for it. for the pictures.
These two photos are from Neil. They're Neil's photos.
Yeah.
And they're really, I'll send them to you while we're talking. So
okay.
Just give me one second.
I think I know the ones you're talking about, Dave.
I showed them to you while you were here.
Yeah. Those two photos, I looked for them, and I no longer have them. One of those two I used to have.
Yeah, I'll send them to you now.
Okay.
I'm just going to put them in the group. So
I kind of admire your decision, Jimmy, to hold off on this "Bye, see you later" on the back until you had more information. That's actually something that a lot of replica builders don't do. They typically won't hold off. They're like me with no patience, and they have to do something. So I commend you on your decision to hold off until you got some more information on it.
Yeah, but that's only because I knew that if I got it wrong, I'd have to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. Remember the 1984 guitar? Remember the 1984 guitar when the Young Guitar magazine came out? We all had to restrike our 84 Kramers again?
Yeah, exactly.
As happy as I was to see the back, I was so frustrated. I couldn't run inside quick enough to get my guitar to see if I was anywhere close, and I was not even close. So
the same thing happened to me when I first built the Rasta. I'll take out the replica in a minute. I didn't have any pictures of the back, so I just had to wing it, and I was so far off that I can't even show the guitar anymore. But as a matter of fact, let me get it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Alan Garber, he's super disappointed he can't be with us. He wishes he could be here.
Huh.
I told him we'll do another one though.
Yeah, definitely.
And he wants. There we go.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is the front, but the back is way off.
Yeah. Well, let me see that for a second. Oh yeah, it looks
And of course the pickup isn't the one that's supposed to be in there. It's not the X2N or the Kramer version of it.
It's actually not an X2N. It's a Schaller blade pickup.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'll show.
I have a real good replica of that.
That looks great, man. That looks really.
Yeah, here's mine.
Awesome.
Mine's got that one in it too. Here's a nice close up of the pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are great replicas. This one was one of Jerry's that I got from him years ago and a few years ago. Yeah, these are great guitars. And Jerry did the exact same thing that you really should do, and he painted it as an Unchained Circles first, and then after that it became this. But yeah, this is a great guitar. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, two things. Jerry was one of the first people I know that was able to unlock the correct color sequence for the Rasta, which is, most people. It took me a long time to figure it out too. And then the other thing is, you've all seen the pictures of Dweezil owns the guitar now.
Yeah.
Right.
But the pictures that he posted, you can clearly see the remnants of the Unchained underneath it. You can see the figure and the circle still underneath the 4 or 5 layers of paint on this guitar. So yeah, that would be the correct way to do it, to actually do an Unchained and then repaint it over. But that's a lot of work,
Jimmy, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked a lot of other people that make the Rasta guitar. Did you add the vomit in the neck pocket?
No, I did not.
I always ask that question. You don't have to take me seriously, but
You're a strange bird there, Rob. Strange bird.
He's putting it very mildly, Dave.
That's the only way I could put it.
That's
hey,
true.
you guys weekends together. You should know each other by now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wow.
Oh man, that's just wrong.
I didn't start it.
2016. Come on. It's 2016. let's stop it. Nothing to fear.
All right, Jimmy, I just sent you those photos, pal.
Okay, let me take a look.
And Rob, I'm putting them on the group thing for you.
Perfect. Well, there's a quick lull in the action, guys. Since we're live, I would like to invite anybody watching to please get on VH Links, Van Halen Links, and check out the guitar section. And under the Kramer ad thread, I posted some new updated pictures today of the latest and greatest replicas. And since we're live, I'll just show you real quick. I completed an update paint job of my 1984 Kramer. It's complete. I redid everything on it. Started with the neck, as you guys saw back a few weeks ago. The neck's complete. And I redid the body as of a week ago. It's done. And I added some little chips in the paint, some little things that I noticed that I had missed over the years. Johnny, I got the correct space tape on there, believe it or not. But yeah, everything is completed, and I'm very, very happy how this one came out. This was the updated 1984 Kramer. Got the 2 stars in the upper horn area, and so finally I'm happy with this guitar. Finally what I wanted it to be. And the other one that I was able to finish up. And again, thanks to Dave Nesdahl for, showing me his, his replica. This is my Kramer ad guitar. This one came out great. There's one thing I'm going to do to this. I'm going to put a different Floyd on it at some point because this is not an original. It's just kind of it's a Floyd just to kind of get it started. But this one came out very well. I'm very, very happy with it. It's a Chris Locke body with a Musicraft neck, and I have the crown heads on it. And again, kudos to Dave Nesdahl for, supplying me with the sticker on the back, #1 Edward Van Halen model. And, yeah, this one came out great, plays phenomenal. The only thing I think I'm probably going to do is add a little bit of electrical tape in here to the into the jack plate because Ed had some electrical tape or black duct tape in there. That's probably the one thing I'll do. But I was able to complete those 2 replicas up this weekend, and they are good to go, and they're all playable. The one thing I did do, Dave, is right here. This, you'll notice it is hanging down like yours.
Yeah.
I super glued it so it wasn't jiggling around. I was getting a lot of feedback over the amp and unwanted noise. With that.
That's supposed to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know.
It's like one of these things, Hang on. It's one of those things,
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Brown sound.
The Brown sound. But thank you to everybody that had a part in those. From a recommendation standpoint to showing me their replicas, to supplying pictures. I really appreciate it because I've done many of those guitars over the years, and I was finally able to kind of get them both where I wanted them.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is the jack plate on the Kramer ad, is that gold or is that chrome? I couldn't tell.
Gold.
Oh, cool.
It is gold.
So your guitar is slightly more accurate than mine because your one black stripe does the right thing and mine doesn't.
Well, it does. Yeah, it does go over. It does go over a little bit more, but
damn you!
Well, I tell you, Dave, it's very hard to top yours. It's very hard to top yours. Now, Jimmy, you also, there's very few of us, I don't know if you've seen my Neptune Kramer on the videos we've done, but I think you're also one that's done that particular replica yourself, right?
I did it with a striker body a couple of years ago. I ended up giving that guitar away, but it had an original Kramer beak neck on it, which I've since put on the Blue Frankie. But yeah, I tried it, and I saw it at the Orlando Hard Rock. It was there for a while. That's in California, I believe, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guitar. I was able to get some really good pictures of it. At some point, I'll probably have build me a body and put that guitar together because I like the. You know what's weird about me? With all the Van Halen guitars that I have, I've never done a Red Frankie ever. You know, and I don't intend to do one. It's just become like so, boring to me now to see them on Facebook and everything. And I apologize to everybody who's building them right now, but I'm out of that phase. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to replicate. I like to do the offbeat ones, the lesser known ones. Those are the ones that I like to go for. So there's a whole bunch of Kramer I would like to replicate. You know. Yeah. Because there's so much more fun to do, like the blue headstock one or the what I call the lost Kramers, and I think you guys talked about it last time. I thought there was about 13 of them, but I think Paul said there's about 18 or 19, right?
Well, I think there's actually more than that. I think that number is still shy of the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is
and Cody called in, right?
An old neck.
Cody actually owned that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not that, but just a wall hanger.
Yeah, the blue headstock Frankie is going to be one of my next ones, but the actual next one that I'm doing is the Rome, Italy hard rock guitar, which was the New York City one for a long time, the one that Ed gave away in '85. I'm just waiting to get a photo of the back of the guitar. I have feelers out to get to the Hard Rock in Rome to ask them to take it out of its case so we can get a photo of the back. That's the only thing that's holding me back from starting that project.
Is that the one with the original 1984 neck on it? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's always one I wanted to do too. But you can tell from the stripes on that Ed didn't do that. It's definitely
no. That's a Felice. That's a Felice paint job. I'll get to that. I'd like to talk about that with you. Yes, Unkert is a good friend of mine, and we did those 2 videos with Unkert. But I'm gonna go on the limb and say that most of these Kramer guys that made these guitars back then, they know they have names for the body styles, like the Frankenstein style guitar, which is the guitar with all the the routes and stuff and the cut pick guard, and they have what's called the Hot for Teacher style body, which is the rear loaded one humbucker pickup guitar.
Right.
Now Unkert, I showed Unkert this guitar a few times, and he was like, "Oh, cool, the Hot for Teacher guitar." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's the 5150 guitar." That to me proves that they don't actually look at the striping; they're just going by what the body looks like.
Yeah.
So I don't believe any of those cats really know which ones they've done or not. So I've come up with the fact that you can tell each guy's signature by the stuff that we do know that they've done. Like Unkert did probably 18 Frankenstein styles, and they look a certain way, so you can tell that he painted those. And George Felice, when he painted them, they didn't have the stripe going around the whole body. None of his did. Right. So the Hot for Teacher was probably made and built by Unkert, but painted by Felice.
Yeah.
And that Rome, Italy guitar with the '84 neck on it was probably painted by Felice because it doesn't have a stripe going around the body. And Billy Connolly's guitars all look like this one, or similar to this one, including the '84 guitar. So I'm led to believe that Billy Connolly painted this guitar, the '84 guitar, and all of the backups from the 5150 era, because they all have that same striping pattern that looked like a spider web.
And you bring up a good point, Dave, and this comment I'm going to make is not meant to discredit anyone by any means, especially Paul Unkert. Yeah, and I'm going to be very careful how I say this because I don't want it to be misinterpreted. Just to go back for a second on what you said as far as You know, when Unc looks at a guitar, you know, he's looking at the body shape probably more than the striping pattern. You know, there's a lot of information out there, and I think, you know, it takes folks like us, like Johnny, yourself, Jimmy, myself, people that know these guitars in and out, the threads that Jimmy's done, you know, I mean, we can identify these things like that. And I think, you know, where a lot of people make misinterpretations or get false information, sometimes, you know, they say go to the horse's mouth to get the right answer. Well, sometimes the horse's mouth isn't even right. And what do I say by that is that if you listen back to the Dwyer and Michaels interview years ago, where Ed was talking about giving the 1984 Kramer to Wolfie, you know, he indicates that the guitar still had the picks and the strings on it from the '84 tour. He completely, totally forgets that he used it in the '51-50 tour for Good Enough with an A bass string on it. You know, of course, you know, they just don't remember.
And it was in the '88 tour. You know, it was also a backup in the '88 tour that was just never seen.
Exactly. But, so it probably had strings from the OU812 tour on it. You know.
Yeah.
So you're talking about information that only people that really have a keen eye to striping patterns and things like that have some, you know, information. So I think a lot of, you know, information that people get right from the source sometimes is incorrect when it comes to striping patterns and who painted this and who painted that.
Plus, I'm going to go one further. It's been 35 years since Paul Unkert worked at Kramer. And George Felice, you know, it's probably been 30 years since George Felice worked at Kramer.
Yeah.
And I really highly doubt that they remembered each guitar that they did.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I know that they know they did them, and of course they did. But I don't think I mean, I wouldn't have a photographic memory of each stripe job I've done.
Right.
And, you know, the only reason I know about it is because I'm such a geek for Van Halen. To those guys, it was just a job. It was you know, it was an account that they had to do. You know, Eddie said, I want this guitar and I want it today. They striped it up. They put it together and gave it to Eddie before 5 o'clock, before the closing bell. You know, because that's when Eddie went there during the day, and I said this before, when he would go there on any particular morning, he would want a guitar built from top to the bottom before he left at the end of the day. So that's what they had to do. And oftentimes, they had to close down shop to accommodate him. You know, they had to have 4 or 5 guys make all these things, you know, so that the guitar would be together and gig ready by the time of closing, end of day.
And sometimes that even included painting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Painting involved.
So, you know, I don't discredit anybody for saying that they painted this guitar, because, quite frankly, I mean, who knew? You know, they don't remember. They just don't remember, and it's not their fault. It's just that it was a job to them, whereas this is a passion for us.
Yeah.
So we know what it is. You know.
Well, guys like you and I, Dave, some people have lives. We don't. So we sit around and...
Well, my life is my dog and my guitars, you know. But but yeah, you know, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I think you guys agree, correct?
I certainly.
No, I think that's definitely a very good assessment about because let's think back in our own lives. I mean, to go back 35 years, can you remember the things that you did back then? I certainly can. I can't remember things I did.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. I can't remember specific days 35 years ago. That's ridiculous to even think.
It makes perfect sense. So I think Dave's correct that they look at the shape of the guitar, not necessarily the pattern of the paint or the stripes, to identify which guitars that they made, and they can remember which ones that they you know, which shapes, or which, you know, pacer shapes, or the hot for teacher with the slanted pickup. Yeah, that makes perfect sense actually. You know, there's I can't disagree with any of that. That's good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I never thought of it like that, but that makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, I just recently came up with that assessment because I'm thinking it was something that Felice had said to me privately. he said that he said that Unkert definitely didn't make the 5150, and then I'm like, wait, well, okay, let's see. He said Billy Connolly did it, and then I went back to that pile of bodies that's in Eddie's attic that we all just recently saw, and there are two different types of guitars there. There are the ones with the stripe around the body that look similar to 5150. Even the black stripes, they're all in the same spot. And there are the ones without the stripe, and it makes 100% sense. And there's that photo, that old photo of Felice holding a Hot for Teacher style guitar in the shop. It's not the Hot for Teacher guitar, but it's that style of guitar, and the seagulls look just like the one in the Hot for Teacher, and there's no stripe around the body, and it's definitely one that Felice painted. So I assume and put two and two together that that's his signature, that's his style.
Yeah.
So therefore, he painted the Hot for Teacher guitar.
And and it's true. I mean, if you think about it, like one of you guys said a few minutes ago, everybody seems to have that painted these guitars. When Eddie did the art series guitars, it has a distinctive, definite intent of randomness. The way he painted, I mean, they don't look anything like the Kramer. And then you talk about stuff that Unkert painted, very, very distinguishable. Stuff that Felice painted, very distinguishable. Connolly painted, very distinguishable. And I think it was 2 weeks ago or so, we did one of our videos, and I think it was actually, I take that back. It was a week ago. It was right after I got home from out your way, Dave. We did the Unkert video, a week ago or so. And someone posted something on the VH links, and they said, basically, I am floored. All these years, I thought Eddie painted the 84 and the 5150. Now I just found out that Eddie didn't paint those guitars. No, Eddie did not paint the 5150 or the 84. Didn't paint them at all. Probably didn't build them either. Unkert built the bodies and necks, cut them, and they sat in the shop for all those years. And he might have assembled them, correct? But he did not paint them.
Right. Well, I would probably say that either Rudy assembled them or Zeke assembled them. Probably Rudy, since he was Eddie's tech in 83 and 84.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Eddie was there and probably did some of it, but I think honestly the last guitar that Eddie painted was probably the Frankenstein. And I know he painted it black and white, but I don't know that he painted it red.
Well,
I don't know that he did.
Actually, I think that possibly the last painting Eddie did was these nasty-looking blotches.
Well, just the blotches, yeah, correct. That's been proven. Yeah,
Paul,
that's actually been proven.
Which is so funny that it annoyed Paul.
Because Paul had just finished that paint job. And that's the funny thing is that guitar looks like a Paul Unkert paint job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it does. It's so funny
just like the Vetus guitar and the guitar out in LA that looks like the Vetus guitar but with the black pickup cover instead of the white pickup cover. The Blue Headstock guitar is definitely a Paul Unkert guitar. They all have that look to it.
You can totally see how that could have unfolded too on that day in '82. Paul gets the guitar all squared away. It's all painted, white and red. It looks great. They all break for lunch and they go out to lunch. Eddie shows up in the middle of lunch, grabs a rattle can, runs all down the body, looks like total crap. And everybody comes back from lunch and goes, "What the hell happened?" And there's Eddie just sitting there with a big smile on his face. Look what I did. Yeah. I mean, you can almost see it probably unfolded something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Johnny, man.
Hey.
You really got a lot to say.
Yeah. No, I let you guys say whatever you want. You guys can get in trouble, not me.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I think we've talked about it a little bit before, but I have a question for the three of you guys. Kramer 5150 style guitar, which was the 918V guitar, which I believe was a backup guitar to Ed at one point, and I believe he played that guitar live on the 5150 tour prior to having the 918V space tape on it. Anybody have any more additional information on that guitar as far as origins? And the neck on that was a pointy headstock, tilt back Kramer neck with maple board, correct?
Yeah, that's a 1986. Yeah. That's a 1986 Kramer. 85, they were tilted back, but they still had that roundish edge on the end, and they were shorter. The headstocks were shorter.
Right.
In 86, they were then called the Kramer American Beretta, and at that point they became pointy, and they were a little bit longer than they were.
The one you're talking about, Dave, is like this one, right?
That's an 85, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that guitar, that neck is probably off a Pacer. That's probably not a Beretta neck.
Correct. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was off one of those. Jimmy, do you have any more information at all on that guitar or do you agree, I should say, or anything to add?
No, I don't have any more specific information than that. I believe, yes, it was a backup guitar, and there's a picture that I posted on one of the forums of Zeke seated in front of a batch of at least a dozen of them, all striped pretty much like a variation of the 5150 pattern. Some with pointy headstocks, and I think I don't know if the 5150 is definitely in there.
Yes.
But those guitars were all.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that there's a cool factor to some of those pointy headstocks. Some of them have this logo on it, and some of them have the newer gold logo on it.
Right. Right. With all capital letters.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a folder with pictures of all the Kramer backups somewhere in my computer that I have to find. Every time I found one, I put it in there. But a lot of them are pointy ones, but they're all basically the 5150 pattern, or variations of it. If you look closer, you'll see that some of the stripes are at different angles, especially like at the cross section. But it looks like they were mass produced, or whoever did them just continually did that design because they figured if any played one of those on stage, it would be indistinguishable from the original one if something happened, if you broke a string or if you changed his tuning or whatever. But that's. But other than the interesting part about that guitar is the 918 Victor, which means violently insane, criminal person or something, for the sheriff's office in LA. So it's just a variation of 150, which is the state code for the mental health, which is the equivalent of like a Baker Act here in Florida, or we can basically put somebody away for like 72 hours for evaluation, which we probably all need to do right away. So, Johnny, start the clock. We're going.
Now, those backup Kramers were Beretta bodies, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they were.
Now, Dave, I think you and I were talking, or might even mentioned this on one of our videos. One of your next endeavors and projects is going to be collecting more information on those and starting some building on some of those, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a bunch of them. Probably all of the ones that were on the 5150 tour. I think I'm the only one that I'm going to have a hard time doing is the one with the Ripley neck on it, because where are you going to find a Ripley neck? But I will be doing basically all those guitars because I think they're fun, they're different, and no one really is doing the backup guitars. Everyone does the iconic ones, and I've already got them all. The last iconic one to do is the one that's in Italy, and it's not even really iconic. It's iconic to us retards, but most people don't even know that that's a guitar, let alone where it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right
I've
about
seen,
that.
I've
But
seen it.
I'm with you. But yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's where I'm going next. You know, I'm not done with the Kramers. I eventually I'll do a multi-tape guitar, but it's not high on my list. I don't really care. I certainly don't care about doing a Shark. Just I don't. The weird shaped guitars are not my bag. Yes, I do have a Star, but that was because I mean I got it for $800. You know, the EVH Gear one. So it was worth it to me to grab it at $800, but I wasn't gonna go build one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I just think that's where I'm headed. You know, minus getting that new Wolfgang that I have put aside for me. That's what I'm doing.
Here's an interesting picture of one of those guitars Eddie was playing. I believe this one, I don't know if it is the 918V, but it's definitely a backup 51.
It's not the 918V because right under his hand there, you could tell that area that's right here. Hang on, let me see if I can. Hang on one second. The area that's right here looks different. The 918V is going to have this cross in it, whereas that one comes flat this way.
Right.
The guitar that you're holding is the one that Johnny showed me that he's holding several times while playing the keyboards in Why Can't This Be Love?
Yep.
And then he uses it for the encore.
Right.
Now we're thinking that that's probably the Dugan guitar.
Mm-hmm. Now that headstock is pointy. It's tilt back, and it has the all capital letters for the logo, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the Dugan guitar before it got repainted by Dugan.
Okay, I actually have one other question to show you guys.
Yeah, there's a couple of those. There's a couple of those guitars. They're almost identical, and anybody would think that it's the same thing.
All right,
but you're right. Like a stripe here and there is slightly different.
Here's another picture of this one. Pointy headstock. This is a real good picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I need to get that photo from you if you can send that to me.
Yeah. Well, I got
Hang on 1 second. Show it one more time, please, because now I have you in the big screen. Hang on.
Okay. I'm going to show you guys all of these that I have.
Bring it up. Bring the photo up. That is absolutely the same guitar. From that last photo.
Now,
yeah,
that one.
That's the same guitar. And I'm led to believe that was probably his second favorite one of the bunch.
Here's the 84.
Oh man, that's another great photo. Where'd you get these photos from?
A secret source, man. Here's another good one of the 84.
Yes, Rob. Do tell.
Yeah, those are great.
Stand by. That's some really, really good ones. A lot of pictures, of Ed and Sam. There's the 5150.
I love those pants that Eddie's wearing. Those big Jimi pants that he's wearing.
Here's a nice picture of the Steinberger GL2T Trans Trim before it was painted.
Yeah, look at that. That's cool.
Still got the black faceplate on it.
Why does that look like it has white pickups in it? Is that the lights?
Just the lighting on that. Okay, now here's another good one of that same guitar, Eddie and Sammy. You can see the pointy headstock.
Yeah. I'm thinking that Eddie used that for a whole show, maybe because the 5150 might have needed frets, fret dressing, or those jacks, those output jacks, they go.
Yeah.
You got a good 6 months out of one, and then they got to be replaced. And I bet you what happened was either the 5150 needed frets, or during the show or just before the show, probably that jack started, giving them problems, and he had to use a different guitar.
I can't understand it, but given the delicate way in which Ed handles his guitars.
I know. I'm going to send you guys some of these photos, and you guys can kind of, three of you guys can kind of do what you want with them.
Yeah, those are cool photos. I don't think I've ever seen those.
Yeah,
So
that's good
those are
stuff.
from what, the '86 tour. Or,
Yeah.
86, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys some of these. So Johnny, you got to keep it down there. You're kind of overwhelming here with it.
Yeah.
Hey.
This incessant yapping on your part is really getting on my nerves.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to get in trouble.
Listen, I love that Johnny. Look at how cool he looks. Just look at that. Come on.
Yeah, Johnny. You know, Johnny Bean, man. He's like the coolest cab driver ever.
Yeah, and I got my
It's the
meal
hat.
money sitting here.
It's that hat. It's like a cabbie hat. I love that hat.
Kathy.
You can just contrast West Coast style with East Coast. Look at us, like
It's
three
like
maniacs.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the mix between a cabbie and a golfer.
No, Brandy.
Who said that?
What's that?
Huh? Oh no, somebody's saying wolf.
Oh yeah, Brandy. She my upstairs neighbor. My tenants are moving, so he's moving stuff in and out of the shed and stuff. So.
Finally moving.
Not a very
Oh yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
No more banging around at 7 in the morning, racing down the halls, huh?
Yeah, and that's the parents.
Yeah.
The kids are up. The 1 and 3-year-old are up at 6.
Oh man. Oh yeah, Alan. Yeah, I wanted to say Jimmy. You know Alan Garber, right?
Yes.
Alan Garber. Yeah, he said he really wishes he could be in here with us because he wants to thank you for all your years of being super patient with him.
Listen, Al's another great guy, man. I mean, he knows Nick very well too, I believe, right? Do you know Al? Dave?
Sure. Yeah. He's great. Great guitar player too. He just opened the door to that riff that Eddie always does. That was that Clapton riff from Cream, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you know it's that same riff that's in Panama and Out of Love Again and the ending to You Really Got Me. It's that same exact riff in different areas on the fretboard, and you know he slowed it down and made it understandable. So it was so hard, you know. It was so hard to do before that, and now it's like, oh my God, that's the riff. It's crazy how cool and how easy it is. But then you hear, you know, that's the only thing in Eddie's playing that you hear Clapton, you know, in his playing, other than it being just so super fast.
Yeah. And Alan does a phenomenal job at demonstrating and explaining.
Yeah, he's really good at it. He's a great guitar player. Very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, technically very, very gifted guitar player for sure.
He's got good
How many
hands.
years have you been playing guitar? How many years have you been playing?
Me?
Yeah.
Since high school. I guess since I've been 15. 15 is when I first started.
Were you professionally taught? Did you take lessons, or just total self-taught? A little bit of both.
I had a little bit of both. I mean, I had friends like probably all of us who were much better than I was, so I was able to learn quite a few things from them. I never really formally took lessons from anybody. It's not something that comes very natural to me. I have to constantly work on it. You know, I do the best I can, but it's just a lot of fun. It's a great hobby. You know, putting these guitars together, and then I mean, I don't know how much money I spent on all this stuff, man. We can all blame you for burning our bank accounts at this point.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Dave, how you liking that 5150 overdrive? You still playing with it?
Sounds great. It's really, you know, I don't want to. I'm playing kind of loud, so I don't want to overload the thing, but it's really great. Really great. And you know what? It sounds more believable through an amp with 12-inch speakers in it than it does through my Super Reverb.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if half of stuff had come out
What's
back in the
that?
day. You know? I said, imagine if half of this stuff had come back out, in what they call the day.
Oh yeah,
Because we were,
yeah.
these, Eddie Van Halen pedals and guitars and amps and wow, I mean, there's such a gap there between, I guess, like the 80s and the 90s where nothing was done, and in the early 2000s where we didn't hear anything from the band and nothing was going on, and all of a sudden there's a deluge of great AVH products. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I mean, you're right. I mean, if you could go back to the year 2000, 2001, and certainly before that, who would have thought we'd be walking around in the summertime with striped flip-flop? I mean.
Well, maybe you are, but I'm not.
And boat shoes, striped boat shoes,
Well, just think of how different things could have been. This is a subject that's been talked about quite a bit. Had Eddie gone with Charvel, had Grover not went the way he went, and they had that falling out. I mean, Eddie would have been with Charvel. Can you imagine the guitars that would have came out? Ironically, decades later, he did come back to Charvel.
Yeah.
But just imagine how the products would have been.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I have a couple questions. Got a couple questions real quick. Craig Mead is asking, are there any pics of the back of the 918V?
I don't have any. Do you guys?
I think in the young guitar, I think there might be pictures. There might be pictures of that guitar before it said 918V on it. I kind of remember there being some photos of that guitar.
Stand by. Hold on one second. I know the magazine you're talking about, Dave. Hold on one second.
Yeah, undoubtedly the Japanese magazines are the single best for great pictures of the backs of Eddie's guitars, because that was something that, and I had heard that he purposely did not want the backs of the guitars photographed so that the exact duplicates could never be made. And I don't know if that's just paranoia or just rumor, but when you think about it, through the years, unless you had a Japanese magazine, you never saw the backs of any of the guitars. With the exception of the M Chamber, which he actually showed. That was it. Because the other ones were like the EVH Root. Nobody really knew it was a negative image on the back, and it's black and white on the front, white and black on the back.
Yeah, I think that's amazing too. This is a great photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those Guitar Man books are amazing too.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, the Japanese are just detail oriented.
I think
every one of those photo shoots is like a.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's like 3 different editions of that. And hey, I got another. I got a comment. Ray DeLeon.
Ray Leon?
Ray DeLeon.
Oh, DeLeon. Okay.
He says, I was wondering if Rob or Dave, having such a tremendous amount of time and effort into building so many absolute masterpiece replicas, were they ever for 1 second tempted to spend some time building an Eddie-inspired guitar with their own stripe design, just for fun and uniqueness?
I've done a couple of those myself, and I will tell you that they are actually harder to do, because now you're trying to not replicate a guitar. After replicating so many of these things, it's like seeing a painting in front of you and trying to, copy it. That to me is easier than doing one on your own, because you're thinking, all right, where do I put this next stripe so that it doesn't look like one that Ed's already done. It's a little harder to do that. And you also want to kind of make it look nice. You want to make it not necessarily symmetrical, but there are really ugly ones and there are really good-looking ones. So, if you're doing your own inspired one, it's, it's kind of harder to do. I mean, the build is just as easy. Well, it's easy for me because I do it. But, But yeah, again, doing an inspired one is I think a little harder than to do one that's a replica of one, because when you're replicating one, the job is already done. You're just copying it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would answer that the same way, kind of as Dave did. I've been thinking about doing some. I don't think I've ever. I mean, some of the earlier ones when 20 years ago when I started doing this, I didn't even know what I was doing. So I guess those probably would be the Eddie inspired ones, because I wasn't striping, the way that he did. They were kind of my own design. And when I was all done, I mean, if it was red, white, and black, I'm like, oh, it's an Eddie guitar. But since then, I don't think I've ever tried to not replicate ads and just kind of do my own thing. And it's kind of funny because the other day I was actually thinking about it'd be kind of fun to get one and just do it on my own, and just kind of use what I've gained as far as how Unkard striped them, and Leasy, and O'Connor, all these different guys, and Eddie and all that. But that's definitely been one that I've probably one of these days I will do, but nothing yet. Here's a Young Guitar magazine right here, of Eddie with a backup Kramer. I don't know which one that is.
That is.
I think that's the Dugan one.
That's the Dugan guitar.
Okay.
I believe it is, which of course was repainted since then.
Yeah.
But repainted almost identical to how it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting stripe job. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like those a lot.
Yeah.
I like those guitars because they're different. I mean, I love. Oh, hey, this is Johnny. In case you didn't know, you've never heard my voice before. Here I am. I'm out in California. I'm in the past to these guys. These guys are in the future. No, I mean, I've always loved the 5150. That was always my number one favorite stripe pattern design. I always loved that more than the Frankenstein. I always. I was way over. 5150 was always awesome. Thanks to watching Live with Annette all the time after school. But the 5150 and the 1984, I liked a lot. I still really like. But those backup ones, I like a lot more because they're different. They're similar. They're different. I think one of my favorites is the one that's in Rome right now with the original 84 neck on it. Yeah. I really like the pattern, the design of that one. And there's several that look exactly like that. Different guitars that all are very, very similar to that. It's like whoever did those. You said it was George?
Yeah, George
did that one.
Yeah.
He must have done. Oh, hey George, if you're watching this, George, you must have done a million of that same guitar because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
There's tons of them.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad that George is listening to this and watching this because.
Well, I'm saying if he is.
He
might
be. If he isn't, then he will be soon. But yeah, it's good that he does listen to it because I think we've uncovered the whole mess of who made what guitars.
Yeah,
it's cool, and I think I bet you he would agree.
I have a question on one of the guitars that I think we all know. Forgive me if I get this gentleman's name wrong. He's been in some of the old Van Halen Inside magazines, and he's been in a couple of Guitar World magazines. He's been on the internet. I want to say his name was Michael Gonzalez. He was the guy that was given a guitar from Ed. It was the giveaway Kramer back in '85.
Oh yeah, Michael Gonzalez. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that a couple of times.
That's not his name, but yes, I know who you're talking about. It's Gutierrez.
Yeah. Okay.
Show that guitar one more time, Jimmy. Oh boy.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen that, Jimmy.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's gorgeous.
That was one of the best. My favorite EVH art series.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Forgot about that one. But that
man.
that I'm talking about, that guitar, who painted that when it had one star on the headstock? That was after Unk's time, correct?
Oh yeah, that's an 80. Well,
84.
Johnny's gonna say that that's an 84 guitar, but it's an 85 neck. It was probably made in 84 or maybe a late 83. I don't know.
Well, he got the guitar in January '85.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? They probably made it in '84, but since it had that tilt back headstock, it's probably it's probably an '85 guitar. Made in '84 because they changed that headstock shape in '85 at the for the NAMM show in '85. So.
Okay.
Probably, it was definitely made in '84, but it was supposed to be a new model or a new look for '85.
Okay.
But Johnny, do you know who made that guitar? Because the striping on that is different than anyone.
Which one are you talking about?
The one that your buddy owns.
Oh, Michael Gonzalez. Well, here, yes. Look, I'm wearing the same shirt. Here's me with the guitar.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
There I'm holding the guitar you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. We believe that Rudy actually made that.
I also think that was a white guitar, because if you see how it's relicked and how the paint is coming off of it, I think that they painted over a white just a white guitar that had already been painted white with clear on it, and you could actually scratch the paint off of that guitar just by the way the relicking on the back of it looks. It kind of flakes off the same. It looks like it's flaking off. So I think that was a quickie job. And isn't that also the guitar that Rosen used in that interview?
Yes. Stephen Rosen has played it. So it was actually from 5150, the guitar. Here's another photo of it.
Yep.
Right there. It's kind of blurry. Is that?
There we go. Yeah.
There you go. That's it right there. Yeah. And yeah, it's almost like it was painted over. And like he's saying, that's why the paint, basically, why it looks so relict, Not that it was played a billion times, although who knows what it was used for. That's something we're trying to figure out. I'm sorry, I'm blurry. Trying to figure out what Eddie used it on, because it was actually at the studio. And the neck does have wear on it. When Mike got it all those years ago. So yeah.
Interesting guitar. Interesting guitar.
I remember entering that contest too.
Huh? You entered it?
I said I remember. Oh yeah, I remember putting in multiple entries for that. That and every single other EDH-related guitar giveaway contest at the time. You just had to clip it out of the magazine and send it in. Those were the days. But yeah, I remember putting it in. Yeah.
One thing I've always wondered about. There was the Kramer guitar giveaway in '88 during the Monsters of Rock.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what I'm assuming, that was possibly one of those Monsters of Rock logo guitars that he gave away.
Yeah.
Do you think? Or was it a
Yes. It wasn't striped. It was the Monster of Rock logo guitar.
Right. Yes.
That's cool. And those, yeah, you can see that guitar if you go to the Hollywood Sunset Guitar Center. They have one of those in the window.
Mm-hmm.
That guitar. Oh, and there's another Kramer that was in the window there that I've seen several times. It's not there anymore. It's in New York now.
Yeah, it's at the New
Guitar
York.
Center.
It's at the Guitar Center in New York City right now.
And that's one of those 5150 style ones that you guys are talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
It looks a lot like.
The headstock. It's an '85. The headstock is round.
Yep.
But tilted back, and there's no paint on the back of the headstock. It's only on the front. The back of the headstock is bare wood.
Mm-hmm. Is it still in the display where it
Yeah,
spins?
it's in that display case that spins. Yeah,
So if you guys go, if anybody, if you're watching this, go to the Guitar Center in New York. I don't know what Guitar Center it's at.
it's
You
on
can actually
14th Street, 14th Street in Guitar Center in New York City.
see
14th.
the guitar, the whole thing.
It's between 6th and 7th Avenue on 14th Street.
Hmm. It'd be cool to get a photo of the back of that.
I have a photo of the back of it.
Oh well, hey. You know my address. Oh, okay. I already read Ray's comment. Yes, yes. I think, or is this a new one? Oh, this is a new comment. Oh, uh, appreciate the reply, guys. Oh yeah, this is brand new. It's De Leon, right? Ray De Leon. Appreciate the reply, guys. I was just asking that because I painted an Eddie-inspired striped guitar in wanting the Eddie experience. I agree with Dave that it's actually more challenging than one may think. Personally, I found the biggest drawback is constantly second guessing. Constantly second guessing your own design.
Yeah.
Could have done this better or made the stripe smaller, etc. Whereas in building a perfect replica, you don't have that problem. I can see how doing your own designs could make your guitar an ever-changing canvas. As in Eddie's case. Great conversation, guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Ray. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be more, original to do your own design with one. And as long as you make it cool looking, it's still cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the hard part.
You know?
The hard part is making it cool looking.
You know? And then what else? Oh, Craig Mead. If any of us, if we find a photo of the back of the 918V, uh, you know, before we, get violent, can you send it to me via FB Messenger? Yeah, I thought about that the other day about what it means. It's the same thing as 5150. It's just a more aggressive, a more violent version.
Yeah, it's for the LA County Sheriffs. They have a 918, which is just an insane person, and then a 918 Victor, which delineates it as a violent person. So you can be insane, but not violent. So
That's right.
Johnny, stop it.
Yeah.
Laugh at us.
Yeah. So wasn't it Don? Wasn't it Don Landy's? Wasn't his idea to call the studio 5150? Do you guys know anything about that?
No, I don't know what the exact origin of it is. I mean, I know what 5150 means. It's the California mental health code for somebody who's insane and who's to be kept for evaluation. But no, I don't know who actually saw it. It might have been Don. You might be right.
Yeah.
It was applicable to the band during the day for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As Eddie would say, a peaceful mental case.
Yeah, great guitars though. Great stuff. Yeah, it's fun talking about this stuff and sharing the our combined knowledge.
There's a lot of history.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, we're always learning about this stuff, and it's great to share information. It's like I was telling Nesdal this the other day. People can talk on Facebook nonstop about the same thing over and over and over in threads, but it's cool to do this stuff on a video like this, to actually have conversations with people like Dave and Jimmy and Rob and whoever else. And it's cool to do these things because people watch the stuff. They watch it and they learn the stuff and they think it's fun.
Every single time you do one of these videos, I mean, even the day, the amount of times I've spoken to Dave and Johnny, and I learned something, and obviously Jimmy and everybody. I mean, that's the fun thing about doing these videos and being involved with these guitars. like Johnny said, there's so much history. There's so much to learn about, and I'm constantly picking up little pieces of information from all of you guys. And it's every time we have a conversation, I pick up some other little tidbit on something that I didn't know, and really pretty cool. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, those pictures that you and Dave sent me today that was worth it because I had never seen any of those 4 pictures that you guys sent out. So that's another thing I can add into my my files. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, yeah, and we have another comment or question. Faraz, is that how you pronounce your name? Faraz, hey guys, I have a question for Dave. I would be replacing the black hardware. Uh, David Nesdall is also talking to me.
Sorry.
Well, I was reading this, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's gone. I would be replacing the black hardware on my EVH Wolfgang Special with the chrome German Floyd Rose. Which chrome tuners should I get for it? Goto or Schaller, and which model?
What I would do,
The
you
EVH
need 3
Wolfgang.
aside. I would check eBay for EVH Wolfgang Chrome tuners because those are the right ones for the guitar.
That's all universal.
Whether they're made in Korea or Germany or whatever, those tuners are probably just as good. I mean, I've had Chinese Grovers on Les Pauls before that are just as good as American or German Schallers. So again, I think what you should do is check eBay for a set of EVHs in chrome. That should be on your guitar because chances are you're not going to find a set of 3 aside mini Schallers. You'd have to buy a left-handed set and a right-handed set, and who needs to buy 2 sets of 6 just to get 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe somebody would be glad to trade. Maybe somebody out there watching this, maybe they have the chrome and they want the black, or who knows?
Yeah, but you could probably very easily find a set on eBay. People part out their guitars every day, so that's what I suggest. And then you don't have to worry about a second set of holes in the back of your headstock. Those will fit right in the same holes.
Yep. There's a joke in there somewhere, but we'll leave it alone.
Yes.
Oh, Faraz, he says, what about Schaller M6 Mini 3 per side ones?
There's still I can't guarantee that they'll be the same, that they'll go in the same holes as, you may have a second set of holes to put in your guitar. I don't know how you feel about that.
Stop joking, Dave.
I'm not joking.
Stop saying holes.
Personally, I don't care. It wouldn't bother me. But if you're hot on getting Schaller tuners, then by all means try to find a set of minis that are 3 aside. But the right tuners are the EVH ones. Try to get the chrome ones if you can. And then what you do is you go on StuartMcDonald.com and get the Perloid ends for them.
Yeah.
And then you got yourself a really nice set of tuners.
That sounds like a lot of.
It's not a lot of trouble, and it's they're always in stock at Stuart McDonald, and it takes about 3 days to get. It's not a lot of work.
Yeah, but most likely you will find those tuners on eBay, because they part the stuff out. Sometimes you have to get the Floyd with the tuners like all together. But
Yeah.
Kenneth, I have a question that might be a bit trivial for those hardcore guys. You're stalking the Musicraft website to find parts for a 5150 guitar, not necessarily striped though. I am not certain about the neck pocket size and angle, nut size, fret size, and all those specific specs.
Okay, I can answer that.
Huh? Was that a question? I don't even know.
I think he wants to know
Oh yeah, it says question.
I think he really wants to know what he needs to order from Musicraft to get a 5150 guitar, not necessarily to stripe up, but to have that style of guitar in bare wood, and have it all fit together the way it should fit together, so that the Floyd is hitting the body and not have to do too much work. Basically, if you order a 5150 Kramer style body from them, you're going to get, and you order a 5150 hockey stick style neck from them, the neck joint, the body and neck are going to fit perfectly, so that when you do put your Floyd Rose, it's going to sit right on the body and you're going to have good action, nice low action. You may have to
exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, he says you're saying exactly what he wants to hear.
Yes. You may have to put.
Just don't say hold.
You may have to put one shim in the neck pocket. Which, if you take a business card and cut a little bit of a business card and put it in there, depending on really how low you like it. I like my action super low, so that it buzzes acoustically, but it doesn't buzz through an amplifier. So I would use I'd cut one business card up and put it right against the edge of the pocket, right here, right at the end. You're also going to want an R2, which is an inch and 5/8 at the nut. And when you order this thing, you're gonna get prompts, and it's gonna say blah 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 standard, inch and 5/8 standard at the nut. 2.5 inches or whatever, it's going to say standard. You're going to pick whatever says standard, and when you get to the back contour of the neck, it's going to say EVH 8197 or something like that, but it will say EVH. That's the asymmetrical that you want, and you're going to want a 10 inch to 12 inch radius, compound radius. 10 inches up at the cowboy chords right here in the first position, and it gets fanned out to 12, so that you can do a two-step bend, and it doesn't fret out. So basically, that's all you want. It'll tell you what holes for the tuning pegs, which is 10 millimeters.
You said holes.
Shush. Shush. You are such a child. All of you. You're all children. What's wrong with you?
Dave, what kind of nut butter do we need to order with that?
It's nut sauce. And it's in a syringe.
Language.
Anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, who was that? Kenneth?
Well, here's the thing about
I think it is Kenneth. And Kenneth, the other thing is you want the Kramer spacing for the neck plate. You don't want the larger hole spacing. You want the narrower neck spacing for the Kramer neck plate.
Does anybody have a good source for those narrow neck plates?
I would ask Nick. I think if you contact him, or I'll contact him today and have him get in touch with you, I think he knows where to get them.
Yeah, I still have an original one too. That was on that guitar we were discussing earlier. I had it saved up for a project. So.
If you get on eBay, they're insane money on eBay right now.
Yeah, they're crazy. They should be about $30, and they're like $200 now. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
What? Maybe I should sell mine.
Yeah, I
know. Kenneth says 6100 frets.
Yes, 6100 frets. I would do nickel silver. Although I know Eddie now uses the stainless. The problem with stainless, and the only problem with stainless, is that if you get the fret edges sticking out, like when it gets too dry out in the wintertime, if those fret edges stick out, they are much harder to file down.
Yeah.
They just will not file down. Whereas nickel silver files down nice and easy. the upside to stainless steel is that they never wear out. Whereas if you use this guitar for 8 hours a day, every day, in about a year, maybe 2, you're going to need to get a refret. All right. Hang on. Sorry about that.
Stop texting each other.
No, that's my mom saying that she's around.
Dinner's ready.
No. I got to go to Petco and get a bunch of stuff for the dog, and my mom wants to go get stuff for her cats. So we, instead of making 2 trips, we kind of combine that. So.
Yeah.
But I don't have to leave just yet.
Do you take your dog with you into the store?
I don't, because although she's friendly with everyone, I'm so fragile that if she moves fast, I'll fall. Like if she will actually pull me, and I can't be pulled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kenneth said something else. Oh, this is the actual video. I'm watching Dave.
Oh boy.
I know. Look, now I'm watching me. Look at this. I'm watching myself.
Nice.
I know. Look, now I'm watching me.
Just a minimal delay, John.
Look at this.
Oh Lord.
Okay. What else now?
Jimmy, what's your next project going to be? Do you have any idea?
This one right here, which is a Islach body, Northern Irish, the music box neck on it. But it has, I don't know if you can see it, it has the titanium Floyd on it.
Right.
What Floyd is that? It has an EVH Floyd on it?
Oh, it's a titanium.
Oh, it's titanium. Oh yeah, you said. Oh yeah, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but before you think that I shelled out an inordinate amount of money, it's actually, I got it very cheap. So, and I'll even mention.
Do you get them from Floyd themselves?
No, I actually got this through Ed Roman in 2000. It was 2009, I think. Whatever year they first came out. Ed didn't know the exact price. He was at Nam with one of these. I wasn't there, but I called him with a question about it, figuring that they're going to be about $1,200, $1,400. And he goes, no, they're not going to be that much. He goes, I'll sell you one for $5. I said, I'll take it. And of course, now they're selling for like. So, I think it's a good deal. I took it at the time. So
yeah,
and
that's
I
cool.
saved it for. So it sounds really good in a. I mean, you would think a Northern Ash body, which is pretty bright, with a TI would be pretty bright too, but it's not. It's mellowed out really by this A2 magnet that's in this 57 Classic. So, which it's a really nice sound.
That's cool. I've never tried a fully titanium bridge. I put the titanium saddle blocks in all my guitars.
Yeah.
And that really does wonders. It actually makes the guitar sound. I mean, it just gives it a bit more sustain, and it sounds good too. It really sounds better.
Yeah, I have a few of those in some of these guitars. So.
Yeah.
Dave, I'll echo that. That Wolfgang 2015 replica I did. We put those titanium saddles in. What a difference! I was playing that the other day. Definitely a big difference.
Yeah. That's a main thing that I do to all my Floyds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Kenneth says, all I need to know, I was on the right track. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, man.
Anytime.
And
that Ken.
Yes. Faraz says he misses Stefan and that 30-pound guitar.
Oh, man, yeah.
You guys remember that? Jimmy, we did hang out with this guy named Stefan a little while back, and he was like, I have a guitar to show you guys I built when I was in school or whatever. He goes into it. He has this what was it? It was some like huge guitar that he made. It was insane.
Sounds like you had like a home safe with strings on it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It's in one of the previous hangouts we did. The one that says the one that says Stefan on it. Yeah. So I don't know how long we've been on this thing.
Who knows?
An hour?
Yeah.
About an hour and a half. We started about 3:15. Yeah, and it's 4:45 now. So.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Eastern time. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say or discuss. Whatever. We got 9, 10 people watching us, so it's.
I'll show you guys something. Am I frank?
I'm thinking we should if we have that many people watching, I think we should stay on for a little bit longer.
Here's the Frankenstrat with the new neck on it. Compliments of Music Craft. You guys have seen my Frankenstrat, but I just threw this neck on the other day, strung it up. I do not have the cigarette burns in it yet. They will be coming. I do have the holes. You guys can see the holes where I put those holes in for the string tree. I have the right crown heads on, Godos. And it's an amazing neck. It's exactly the one that you have on yours, Dave.
How's that feel? Does it feel great? Well,
Love
actually, mine is an R2 nut because I ordered it that way. Yours is a little wider than mine.
Yeah, mine's an R3. It's not the vintage nut like yours is, but yeah, it's a great playing guitar now. Yeah, I love how it feels. Action is really nice and low.
Yeah, it sounds very resonant live.
Yeah, it does. Very, very nice. Nice low action. I set this one up myself, believe it or not. I did not, this is one of the very few guitars that I did not have to bring to my tech. I put the nut on and put the neck on myself. Didn't need any shimming, didn't need anything. Strung it up and it was right on the money. Tuned it up, intonated it, and yeah, it's ready to roll.
What body is that? Who made that body for you?
I've had this guitar for probably about 8 or 9 years. This body is a Music Craft body. I don't know if you guys can see the graininess of it at all. But it really came out really nice. Yeah, this is a Music Craft body, an older Music Craft body. And yeah, this has been a work in progress. This has been one of those guitars that every time I see a different magazine or something, ooh, I got to do that, or oh, I have to do that. You know, it's like the Qui-Gon fishing guitar, you know, on the old VH Index. Yeah, this is a good one. I love this one. A lot of fun.
Yeah, that guy, he's unbelievable.
Unreal.
Sandy you're talking about?
Yeah, insane attention to detail. I mean, just amazing.
No problems. Let's be honest. He is a 918 Victor.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, if you keep talking over us like this, we're going to have to disconnect this podcast immediately, whatever it is. It's outrageous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We were doing a video and we lost connection, and then Johnny and I got kicked out, and Dave was talking to himself.
Which is normal for me. Very normal for me.
The last two. Yeah, the last couple of videos we've done, they've had like technical issues, and so they're just gone. But Vinny has a question. What should I use for the 5150 Floyd Rose bridge? I guess he wants.
It should be a Chrome 1984 reissue Floyd Rose.
Cool. Yeah, those are great bridges.
Yeah.
I love those. Well, the original ones, I love them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there is a difference between the original ones and the ones that are made today. There was a period where they were actually being made, and I don't want to get sued or anything, but in Czechoslovakia for a little while, like they were actually made there and assembled in Germany. It was right after there was a fire at the Floyd Rose factory, or there was some kind of problem with the family when the original owner died, and when it changed hands, and then the workmanship went way down for some reason.
And they actually said they actually imprinted the word original on it, right?
Yeah, something bad happened. But I mean, they're back up to where they used to be, I think. But But if you get your hands on the original Floyds from like the '80s, from the like the early '80s ones, they're really really good. And you can usually tell the difference. I have a couple of them. Hold on, I'll get one. This is I don't know if you can see it. This is one of those original ones.
Oh, I love that.
See, it's a lot more squared. Yeah, it's a lot more squared off than the other ones. This is that neck that you were just talking about, Rob. This is one of those. But this is this was originally drilled for an R5, but I was able to put an R3 nut on it with no problem. So it's a fairly wide neck, but it has all the specs, and it's
Well,
it really sounds
the original beak neck that was on the guitar in '83. That's an R5 neck. Wow, where'd you get the blue ones?
from Scott in Canada. He sent them out to me. So they're like the original ones, but they're blue.
Very.
Same,
And look at that big steel block on the back. Wow, that is awesome.
That's actually titanium.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a titanium block in there. So, but this guitar sounds unbelievable. With and it's also got a I think it's a '57 Classic Plus in there, which is it's at high volumes it's distorted, but it's clean. So it's like one of those things. There's not a lot of. You'd have to hear it in person, but they're great pickups if you can get your hands on some of these and just try them out, especially with the EVH amps. They're a great match. So I would recommend them to anybody who's building these guitars. At least try them out. And they're fairly cheap, too. You can get used ones for like $50, $60.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, those are great guitars, man. Those are like what I was saying earlier about doing something original. It's really cool to have
the red beat.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
really
these MXR are pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And then it's a push pull, so the neck is active on all these guitars. So you pull that up, and I have this access to that.
Oh, how cool! That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds different from the Strat because there's a 500K pot.
Yeah, so it's a lot brighter.
Right, and so it sits fairly low, but it still picks up pretty nice. So in terms of output, it's weak, but in terms of sound, it's really great. The tone's great,
Yeah.
So at least I have that option.
What color paint is that red? Is that an orange?
That one is Fiesta Red. The other one was Dakota Red. You didn't see that one. I'll show you that one quickly.
Man, that's great.
This is like that one's the Titanic. This is the Lusitania. This is the other one.
Yeah.
And this is a Kyle Finch body and a Kyle Finch neck, and this probably is also one of my favorite necks. But these are just Frankie variants. So I've been doing them in all kinds of vintage colors. There's a guy, Palmero.
Yeah, Palmero guitars in Canada, I think, right?
Yeah. So he's selling them for like $1,200 a pop or something like that.
That's no money for that guitar.
Yeah. He's basically doing the same thing. And those are music craft bodies and necks too that he uses. So,
That's so cool. And you're doing these guitars, right? They're not. Those are not from him, right?
No. These are mine. Like I said, I get the parts from either K&E, Music Craft, or Chris Locke. The necks I get exclusively from Music Craft because I have a good deal with Scott. And the parts I get from eBay wherever I can get them. And the paint I send out to a guy named Mark Jenny he shoots these in nitro, which is as you guys know, it's a very dangerous thing to shoot in, and it's not good for health reasons and all that. But he has all the facilities, so he'll paint them for me, and then I'll relic him to the way I want him. He has a special process. You won't be able to see it, but on a lot of these guitars, there's checking on there. He offers it in linear checking or in what he calls broken windows. So it's like a mode.
Broken windows is actually broken windows is actually the way Fender guitars will check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Basically, that's what 2015 Wolfgang is. It's broken windows checking, isn't it?
Actually, no. That's more linear. That's that's the way Gibson guitars check, but that's the way his guitar is. That's the way Eddie's guitar is. It's linear. Because them guys at EVH and Charvel haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. Ouch! Yeah.
Oh, come on. Everyone should be able to take a joke. I certainly can.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah. Take cover. Yeah. No, I agree.
What is that? 1013 officer needs assistance?
Yes, it is. Yes.
And 10-6 is stop transmitting. Yeah, we used to say that to one guy all the time. 10-6. No, shut up. Stop transmitting. I used to do that quite frequently.
Hey, I've got another comment. This is from is it the CJ Wall? Is that how you pronounce your name? Hey all, I have a question for whomever, is that the word, can answer. I'd like to send photos of my 5150 and Frankie to see what I am missing to make it complete. Obviously, I'm not asking for that on this live video, but if someone would like to look at mine, I would be happy to send photos of the front and back of both guitars. I feel they're pretty accurate, but I'm sure you guys could find something, i.e. the extra string tree holes on the Frankie, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you can send them to me. I'd be happy to look at them. I'm sure Rob would too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody wanted to contact you guys and send you a photo of their guitar, how should they? Where could they send them to?
Best is to private message me on Facebook.
Me as well.
Yeah.
or you can call Dave at 1-800-999.
1-800 Lost Weekend with Dave.
Yeah.
It'll be a lost weekend.
Yeah. We should hold a contest.
Send us your pictures. We'll just demolish all your work between the three of us. We got all the terrible mistakes.
That's so funny.
Fans, here, sign up for your Lost Weekend with David Nesdahl.
We should hold a contest.
So you were at Dave's house. When you saw his collection, which one impressed you the most? Which one did you like the best out of all Dave's guitars?
That's actually a very, very good question. And I'll try to be brief answering it. I'll give you the short version, and then I'll give you the whole thing. I would say the guitar that impressed me the absolute most was his 5150. A second place was his 84. Third place was the Frankenstrat, and they were pretty much all within the same realm. Like I said, I've been doing this myself, painting these guitars for almost 20 years, and there's certainly a lot of things that I, flaws and things like that I see in the jobs that I do when I paint. We all pretty much get the bodies and necks and the parts from the same people. We all know that, and we put them together. And some of us paint them ourselves, like myself, and have other people paint them. But whatever we do, we all take pride in the projects that we create. I certainly have over the years, and I'm never satisfied. I don't think a true artist is ever completely satisfied with their work. So we're always trying to do better. And perfect example, when I got back from Dave's house last week, so I couldn't get home quick enough, and I was stripping down 2 guitars to redo 2 of them. And now I'm very happy with both of those. But I will say that it was the 5150, the 84, and the Frankenstrat, which probably impressed me the most from a relicking EVH replica standpoint. And I will say that Dave's collection of guitars as a whole is absolutely stunning, no doubt. Attention to detail is absolutely incredible. I mean, anybody can look at someone's guitar and come up with a flaw. I mean, none of them are 100%. I don't care who you are. I mean, even Scott Smith's collection is, I guarantee there's something about each guitar that isn't exact. There has to be. There's no way, I mean, it's like, I mean, you guys know, I mean, Jimmy, when you're talking about handgun shooting, arc of movement, yeah, you can't completely alleviate it. You can only minimize it by training, no matter what you do. It's no different than these things. You can't ever make them perfect, but you can always strive to do that. But I would say that Dave Nesdall's collection is absolutely incredible. Every guitar just has incredible attention to detail, but without a doubt, the 5150 is probably the one that just I looked at and I was like, excuse my language, holy shit, this thing kicks ass. And like you said, mine, I love my 5150, and I think Dave liked it as well. But
I do.
I would say it's an incredible collection, and there's probably a bunch of other collections out there that are just like Dave Nesdall's, and where they're just phenomenal creations. And it's really cool to be able to have the opportunity to see some of these guitars that all you guys do, because they're pretty impressive.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Rob. That's very nice of you.
Now shoot me that $50 you owe me for saying that via PayPal, and I'll expect it in there about 2 hours from now.
Was that the short answer?
Yeah. So here's the long one.
Johnny's going like this. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
And Johnny, if you keep cutting me off, we're gonna have to do,
Well, hey, yeah, the CJ Wall. Oh, that's Chad Wall is who that is.
Yeah.
And he says he's friends with all of us on Facebook, apparently.
Yeah,
cool.
Chad's a pretty cool guy.
So, yeah, message Nesdall your photos. Although he's probably seen them already.
No, well, yeah, I've seen his 5150. I've only seen the front of it, but send them to me so I can really look them over. I haven't seen the other guitars.
Cool.
So Jimmy, what tuning do you tune your guitars to? You tune them to concert pitch or half down?
Half down. I'm always a half step down. I have some guitars that are in 440, mainly Strats that aren't locked down. But all these other guitars are all tuned down a half step. And most of them have a detune on them, so I can do a drop D right away. Mm-hmm. And all my Floyds are set up flush to the body. I don't have any that are floating.
The only way to fly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Although I got to tell you, none of my guitars are half down. None of these are, because if I choose to use any of these to gig with, they have to be in 440.
Yeah, because then nobody tunes down. Yeah, that's been a problem too. Occasionally I'll sit in with bands, local bands around here, just to play a few Van Halen songs, and I have to either tune up or bring a guitar that's tuned 440. So, and that can be a pain in the ass. But the sound is different. I mean, when you play, for example, Unchained at 440, it sounds much different than a half step down.
Yeah.
Harmonics are different. It depends what you're into, but I like the darker sound of tuning down to 445 and just it's a lot easier to bend the strings, and you guys know it's a lot less of a fight, but I would say 95% of my guitars are tuned down a half step.
And what gauge strings do you use?
9 to 42, so extra lights.
Yeah.
Right now, I think most of them have Viadarios, but I also have some. What would be the other ones? Maybe Fender XLs, 150 XLs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are great too.
And on the Strats, on the non-lock guitars, I have 10s on them, 10 to 46. I just got a. Totally different player. This is an Eric Johnson Strat body, and normally comes with a rosewood neck, but I bought the body separate, completely loaded from one of those eBay parts out type thing. And then I got the neck separate too. So I combined them, so it's a Partsocaster now, but it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Eric is using that exact guitar right now with the rosewood neck on it. I've never seen that color on an Eric Johnson, and it's the coolest.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, Yes, the turquoise something or other. I don't know what they
Oh,
call it.
it's Taos turquoise. Taos, Taus turquoise.
The only thing I'm missing is I can't adjust this because I don't have the hex. It's an 05 hex key to bring up this E string because right now it's fretting out. So I just have to raise this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming. I had to order it in the mail because I couldn't find it anywhere in any hardware store around here. So
now is that an Eric Johnson neck as well?
oh yeah, yeah. It's the Eric Johnson neck. You can see the tuners graduate down.
Yeah, sure.
Very nice.
And this thing stays in tune really, really well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's mounted flush right now, but have you guys gone to John Fruta? Alan knows about him pretty well. He can keep strats in tune, and he has some very good videos on how to keep a Strat in tune, a traditional Strat bridge in tune. And he does some amazing things with that. It all comes down to string stretching and adjusting the tension in the back. And you know, if you want to keep your Strat in tune, it's a good place to go to.
Yeah.
But, these kind of guitars are 440 though.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
Cool.
So
How many guitars do you own?
I'm not sure. It's got to be like in the high 30s, low 40s. I'm not sure. I haven't taken inventory lately. I know I have some hitting under beds in the different bedrooms. I haven't even thought about, but I don't know. It's got to be high 30s, low 40s.
Yeah.
Guns, girls, and guitars, right, Dave?
Yeah, but not in that order.
How many do you own?
Right now, with the Wolfgang that's coming, it's 44.
Girls? Really?
No. Well, yeah, I guess they're girls. But they don't talk back. They don't talk back, and they don't break up with you.
Yeah. And they're not high maintenance.
Any girls that may be watching this, good.
I think we just lost a couple viewers. Yeah, right. We have
Don't
girls.
worry, there's no girls watching this. You guys don't have to worry about that at all.
I don't know. Catherine Hughes, Katie Hughes watches this stuff.
You ever been to a Satriani concert? There's no girls at all. That's something when he joined Sammy for Chickenfoot, he couldn't believe that there was girls.
Yeah.
Then he got all of a sudden couldn't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Satch, he's great. He's awesome. Yeah, and he's great. He headlined. A friend of mine puts on these Jason Becker benefits, and in San Francisco, and Satriani headlined one of them. It'd be like the first one that they did in this area, and it was great. I'd never seen Satriani in concert before. I never thought I really ever would because I like him, No, did I see him before that? I saw Chickenfoot. I don't know if that was before or after the Jason Becker thing, but anyway, I got to talk to Joe before the show, and I got to watch him do sound check and everything. And it was cool. It was cool. But I got to be like right in front. Actually, I filmed his whole performance. If you search my channel for Satriani, you'll see those videos. It's him and if you guys know Steve Hunter.
Yeah.
You know who he is? He was the guy. It was him and Becker that played on A Little Ain't Enough album.
Oh yeah.
The Roth album. But anyway. Yeah, so I saw Satriani like right in front of me and doing all those things that he does with the harmonic, whatever. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. But, I turned around. There was no girls. Oh, except my wife. My wife was the only girl in the place, and she said everybody was like drooling.
All the girls were backstage.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. It was a cool show.
Was he playing that 24 fret guitar, that new one that came out with, or do you know?
Doesn't he normally play 24 fret guitar?
No. How long ago was it, Johnny?
This would have been 2011.
He didn't have it yet. They were 22 frets back then. His 24 fret guitars came out in 13.
Oh, I always assumed guys like him always use the 24
No,
frets.
he played 22 frets for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember seeing the the ad, and well, actually I get the musician's friend catalog. It's the new Joe Satriani stuff, and most of my guitars have 21 frets on them.
Yeah, mine
So
too.
for me,
21, 22.
yeah, so for me, like 22 is already daunting. Like 24, like is like a scary thing for me. I just don't see the. That's the way I started on 21 frets, and I'm like a dinosaur that way. But I like the way that the tension and everything works out with just that 21 frets on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably harder to play. I'm making life much harder for myself. And then they say that with a 24 fret guitar, there's a sweet spot on the neck pickup that's a lot better than on 22 or 21 frets. But I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it's exactly opposite, Jimmy. Jimmy, I think it's opposite. 24 frets. 24 frets, your pickups are going to be a lot closer together, and they're going to sound brighter. They're going to sound more like your bridge pickup than normal. 21 or 22 frets, that neck pickup gets to slide back up towards the neck, and you're going to get a much better woman sound. A nice, great woody neck pickup sound. And that's the plus to having less frets. The minus to having less frets, of course, is you don't have as much.
Right.
You can't get to as many notes. But quite frankly, who needs those notes? You can bend to them. Shredders need those notes, but I mean, I don't know. Eddie Van Halen doesn't need them, and Eric Johnson, he's a shredder with great tone, and he doesn't need them.
Yeah.
Jimi Herring is. Have you ever heard him play, Jimi Herring?
No.
Well, he's
No.
he's kind of a Allman Brothers kind of guy. Very popular in that vein of music, the jam band music, except that guy is probably just like Satriani, but with amazing tone and amazing. Not that Satriani doesn't have amazing note choice, he does. He's absolutely amazing. But what he does with a 21 fret Stratocaster and a super reverb is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. His knowledge of the fretboard is insane. Look him up, Jimi Herring, and you're gonna lose your mind. And he uses an American Standard Strat. Ridiculous.
918V.
Yeah. As far as Chad Wall, he sent me his guitars, and I will tell you. Well, he sent me his 5150. His 5150 and his Frankenstein, and they look fantastic. They both really look great.
Yeah, and Faraz chimes in. He says Satriani was playing the 24 fret version on a DVD, which was filmed in 2010. So I guess that was a prototype.
Really?
He says.
It was probably a prototype, but I know the guitar didn't come out until 13.
There's a tiger behind you. Hey, for God's sakes, get out of that room. There's a tiger behind you.
What?
Your cat.
Is there a cat in here?
Yeah, just up on your right shoulder.
It's one of my cats.
A mini tiger?
Yeah.
That's Sammy, right?
No, that's Alex.
Oh.
Sammy's the gray one.
Looks like Morris to me.
Morris.
No, he's telling me that he's hungry. He's always hungry and he doesn't gain any weight. I think he's got a tapeworm.
Ugh. Speaking of worms, I got mine right there. I can't see that. I have chickens. We have chickens here, so I got a bag of mealworms if anybody's hungry.
Yummy.
Like that movie, The Lost Boys, when they're eating the Chinese food and they're eating the worms. Remember that? Remember The Lost Boys?
No. Although that was filmed here, though.
You ever saw The Lost Boys?
Yeah.
I saw it, but it's been so long since I've seen it. But I drive past the what's it called? What's that place? Beach Boardwalk?
The amusement park?
The amusement park. Yeah. That place is still here,
Nice.
and you can actually go right there to where they filmed all that stuff. And I think there's a bridge. There's a bridge that's in the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Huh? Railroad trestles or something.
Yeah, nice, cool.
But
Dave,
yeah.
we'll have to go there when we go see Johnny. We'll go hang out where they film The Lost Boys.
Okay. Just as long as Johnny stands between us.
Yeah. Maybe Corey Haim and Corey Feldman will be there too.
Oh.
Well, Corey Haim passed away,
Yeah, he'll be.
so he won't be there.
He'll be there in spirit.
Wow.
But Corey Feldman, he actually goes to NAMM. Corey Feldman, so you can actually run into him
For what?
down there if you go down there. Oh, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of musicians, actors, people who show up.
People
to
that act like musicians.
Yeah. What? He wasn't he in a band? Isn't he a singer?
I think he was. At one-
Feldman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I remember
Man.
that.
Dating.
Hey. Huh? Yeah. So hey, are we good? I'm getting all this talk about tapeworms and mealworms. I'm getting hungry.
Well, why don't you grab one of your mealworms? Make a meal out of it.
Ugh.
It's kind of weird. I just lost my appetite, so I
Yeah.
wasn't.
God.
Yeah. But hey, okay. I think are we good?
Yeah.
I
We're
think
good.
so.
Yeah, Jimmy, thanks for joining us on this stuff, and you're welcome back anytime, man.
Yeah, man.
Now that we got you on Google Plus now,
Great to meet you.
Yep. Same here.
and
Yeah.
anybody, if you're just tuning in, Jimmy, he's one of the guys who knows his stuff about all this stuff. Go to VH Links and you'll see exactly.
And that's true. I mean, all these guys, Johnny, Dave, Jimmy, Scott, Paul, I mean, everybody, Greg, I mean, all the people that we've been talking to, Eric, I mean, it's so fun doing these videos. Really is a good time.
We got to get Jerry Leica to join.
Yeah. And Scott. We got to get Scott on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll do
Absolutely.
it. We'll make it happen. We'll definitely make it happen. And Jimmy, if you can join us, more often when we do these videos, because we do, a bunch of these a week. 2, 3 a week sometimes. Love to have you back, please. Just you got all of our information now, and yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, just let me know when you guys are on, and if I can make it, I can make it. Sometimes
Cool.
I work because I work nights.
Yep, definitely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
weekends seems like a cool, like Sunday, like what we did today seems like a cool time slot.
Yeah, Johnny, you're out there on the West Coast, so thank you very much for adjusting to our time frame as well, and making this work.
For waking up.
Well, the funny thing about Johnny is like the weekend, his weekend is like Thursday. That's when his weekend is.
Yeah.
We're here on Sunday. It's like Thursday for him.
Yeah.
Thursday actually is a new Friday out here.
It's the metric week. Saturday
Exactly.
is one of them.
That's why I go out Thursday night. We call it Thirsty Thursday. That's why I go out on it.
Nice.
Thirsty Thursday.
It's also ladies' night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, before
Staying
we
away from that one.
before we sign off, I have a quick question from Bruce Wayne. If you had a chance to take home one of Eddie's famous guitars, which one would it be? And he loves watching our streams, so thank you very much, Bruce. Which is your favorite Eddie guitar? If you could own one of his guitars, which one would you pick?
5150 for me, baby. That would be it. That's the guitar that got me into Van Halen.
Well, let me ask you this: in the state that it's in today, you'd take the 5150?
Absolutely, hands down.
It's unplayable.
Doesn't matter. It would fit right in my thing. I got plenty of playable guitars here. I would take the 5150. I would take it. I would definitely take it.
Okay.
How is it unplayable though? Still plays.
It's unplayable. No, the crack underneath the crack on the height adjustment screw, and when he put the Charvel neck on it, he had to make the neck pocket a lot bigger. So now that the original neck is back in it, it moves in the neck pocket.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that guitar was still playable.
No.
So he trashed it during the '04 tour, basically. It saw its last days.
Yeah.
You were lucky. You got to actually see it, Rob.
Yeah, I saw it right up close. Yep. Not with a Kramer neck on it, but yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be my answer. Even though it's unplayable, I'd still take the 5150.
Cool.
How about you guys? What about you guys?
Man, I honestly don't know.
Would you take David Lee Roth's Dave-sicle?
No.
The big popsicle Dave-sicle guitar, Dave? Just because it says Dave on it?
No, I'm not that hip on my on my namesake.
Dave, you're my popsicle. You're my popsicle.
You really had to go there?
That's for another Google Meet.
Wow.
What would it be, Dave? What guitar would it be if you had to pick one?
I would say, and I'm gonna say at any point in time, any version of any guitar, I would probably say well, there's two. I would take the Tour Relic from last year, and I would say the black and yellow as it originally looked with the black head with the black neck on it.
Nice.
And the Charvel bridge unlocked, with no Floyd Rose on it.
Yeah. Cool. Good choice.
Only because I don't really, I can make any other guitar.
How about you, Jimmy?
It would also be the black and yellow Charvel, but as it appeared on the 1980 tour. So.
Oh, with the Frankenstein neck, with a neck that's on Frankie.
With that rounded 21 fret neck and with the Floyd on it, but most people don't know, but that guitar was slated to actually go on the 1981 tour, on the Fair Warning tour, but that's about the time that they had the falling out with Grover. So, that thing was in the wings to be played out. And
no kidding.
Yeah, and all those stories about how Eddie hated that guitar and everything else. I think if you go to VH Links, you'll see there's a sticky on the guitar that I made. It kind of addresses that issue that yeah, he might have had some problems with the tone due to the Floyd Rose, but he played it on 3 different tours. He played it in 1978 when he first got it. Played it in 1979. Played it in 1980, and it was destined to go on tour for the 1981 tour. So you don't play that guitar for potentially 4 world tours and hate it,
Right.
So I mean, whatever came out after that was because of the fallout that he had with Grover and all that. So he couldn't very well talk up a guitar that was coming from a company that he had a cease and desist order against, and they had it falling out. So, and plus he was on his way to Kramer at that point. So, that guitar with the body made by Lynn and the Lynn Ellsworth neck on it and all that stuff. That's probably my favorite guitar of all time. I remember seeing that guitar on the back of VH2 and being just fascinated by it, because it's essentially a copy of the first guitar in terms of strike patterns and all that, but it's different. It's the first rear-loaded guitar, and it's the first one with the Charvel logo on it, and it's probably the 3rd guitar with a Floyd on it, or 2nd guitar. So it's a lot of history with that guitar,
Mm-hmm.
But, so we'll have to discuss some more about that in the next one that we have. There's some really fascinating details.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's something that we would like to do is talk about these guitars and have open discussions like this about each guitar. All the main ones, all the backup ones.
Johnny, how about you?
All that stuff.
What's
Which guitar would I like? I would say the 5150 as well. That's the one that I grew up on. You know, the Frankie was never. It was, you know, the Frankie never did it for me the way the 5150 did.
So I feel.
You know, something about just the way it looks, the headstock, just everything about it. You know, so as far as, you know, in the history behind that, I mean, those are his two main, really, his two main guitars all those years, with the Frankenstein and the 5150. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
so, but yeah, they're all. I think they're all cool though. I think they're all
Yeah.
totally awesome. I mean, that's why we're sitting here talking about this.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know? But yeah, cool. Okay. Unless anyone else has anything to say, I think we'll.
The last thing I'm just going to say, and I'll make it under 30 seconds, is Jimmy, this guitar, I've shown this before. This is my VH2 guitar. This was also a Jerry guitar years ago. It has the 21 fret neck on it. I painted the headstock black myself. This is actually, I believe, a Warmoth Boogie Body's neck. And this guitar actually does have the right route in the back, and it does have a tone knob hooked up inside the cavity.
Oh yeah.
This guitar is actually, it's got a little bit of relicking where Ed's did, as far as we could tell, but it's like a glass finish, kind of like Ed's was. You can't even feel the stripes. The only thing about this guitar that I would change, it's an original Floyd Rose. The only thing I would change is I put an original collar on, because it's got one of those, you know, screw-on bars. The only thing. I mean, even the posts are original Floyd screws, and it's got a DiMarzio Super Distortion in it. Yeah, cool guitars.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that guitar a lot.
Dave, you would love this guitar. This is definitely one you would want to take home. Next time I see you, you're going to have to check this out, because you will actually fall in love with this guitar, no doubt.
I'm sure I will. I'm already in love with it. I told you that the first time we discussed that guitar. That's one that I would take.
Insane neck, really is.
Yeah. Good job on that one.
Yeah, I love this one. This is also one that I sold at one time and was able to reacquire back.
That's half of the guitar.
Oh yeah.
By the way, that was more than 30 seconds.
That was the long version of that answer.
Stop.
Hey, okay, a couple quick comments, and then Ray DeLeon. It was cool to hear Dave mention Jimi Herring.
Oh yeah, man.
He's an awesome solo artist and the guitar player for Widespread Panic.
Widespread Panic.
Phenomenal jam band, and he posted a link to a solo. Cool. I'll looks like I have to approve this comment because he put a link in there. I'll approve it, and so there it goes. So if you guys want to watch the video he just sent along, it's in the comments of this video. Cool. And then Bruce Wayne chimes in. Do you think Eddie should bring back the overalls?
Man, I know that's more a joke kind of question, I think.
He gave those away though, didn't he? You can go to Hard Rock cafes and see like striped overalls and stuff.
I mean, I really don't want to see his chest. I don't, you know, he's a guy, he's a dude. I don't really care what he wears. If anything, I like the look of the baggy genie pants, the best.
Oh no.
The wife beater and the genie pants.
The pink ones?
No, I don't like the pink ones. The light blue ones and the black ones. Those are cool.
I don't know. I wish Dave would come back with the assless chaps, but you know, it's just me.
You're talking David Lee Roth, right? Not me.
David Lee Roth, yeah, Dave.
Oh.
No, David Lee.
Yeah, I don't think I could do the assless chaps.
Okay, I think we need to go now.
On that
note.
Yes. Okay. Great talking to you guys. And Jimmy, don't hang up. I'm gonna end this, but stay on the line. Dave Nesdahl, it's always great to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
Rob Johnson, always awesome. Jimmy, Jimmy, great to meet you. I mean, I know we've talked on the internet here and there, a little bit, whatever, but it's great to
Sure.
actually meet you, and talk
Yeah,
to you
cool,
about
man.
this stuff. And like I was saying, Jimmy, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to Van Halen guitars and all this stuff. So
Absolutely.
anytime you have some time and you want to come back and do this again, just let me know. You got my number?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'd be
All
happy
right.
to.
Awesome. Great doing this. Everybody who's watching this, thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments.
Thank you,
And look,
guys.
yes,
Ciao.
and look for more of these videos in the future. We've got some cool ones coming up that we're scheduling with some more guests and things, and all good. All right, so keep rocking, everybody. Johnny Bean, JohnnyBean.com. Don't hang up. All right, bye.
Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too.
That was 30 seconds.
Goodbye.